I don't know how I even got a ranking out of this one, because basically every single one except for number 7 and the top 2 were all tied, because every single one is pretty situational and not very fun. So yeah, it's definitely one of the low points for the 1,000-Year Door, which is, well, the abilities. And don't get me wrong, they are unique, but man, they either just don't control well or take a long time. So just remember, like, if your list is different, like, put your list in the comments below. But if your list is different, just remember, like, this was super tough to rank. And also, I'm not going to be including the jump and the hammer. Obviously, I will be including the swing hammer and the ground pound, but not just the original jump and hammer, because you start with that right away. But, yeah, other than that, let's get started. Number 7. All these abilities took 30 minutes to rank all of them, and there's only 7. This list was so hard, but number 7, I literally figured it out in less than a minute. And that ability? The Swiss roll. No, not that. This. Wow, this thing is forgettable. And to prove that, when I replayed the 1,000-Year Door 2 months ago, I didn't remember this ability. So when I saw the black chest in the shop, I was very confused. I just saw this black chest and I was thinking, what is gonna be in here? And at least that does, like, give me a little bit of, like, hope. But then I realized why I forgot about it. And there's 2 reasons for it. The first reason is that it's super replaceable. Yoshi goes faster, and he's easier to control. But the other reason is I can only think of 2 places that you actually use it in, and both of them are just in Twilight Town, the place that you actually get the ability. And that's in the creepy steeple, trying to get to one place, and the other one is just to get under the log. It's when you use this thing, I don't even know if there's a place where you actually, like, explore, like, when you have to just find something in the game. Now, you might, but I'm not sure. But the main problem I have with this thing, and I talked about it when I was thinking about it being replaceable, is that this is one of the most annoying things to control in the 1,000-Year Door. Not because of it going fast, but because the turning is awful. And the jump kind of slows down your momentum, which is just horrible. It's not fun to control, so even when Yoshi gets taken away from you, and you only have Vivian as a partner, you really just want to jump instead and just walk. So, not very fun to use, you don't really use it much, and even when you need to use it, it's just annoying. It has to be number 7. Number 6. This is where the ranking gets really annoying and tough. This is what took me 30 minutes to rank these. These next 4 abilities are basically just mildly annoying and not great abilities. So it was very hard to rank all of these. But number 6 is the paper boat. Now, I only think that there's one thing inherently wrong about the paper boat, and that it's a tiny bit too slow. And that's just comparing it to stuff like the paper airplane, which is decently fast. But yeah, that's really my only problem with it. But it's not the paper boat's ability, it's where you use the paper boat ability. Yeah, it's a little annoying where you use it. Now, first things first, I don't like the use of the paper boat in Key Hall Key. Now, yes, does it make sense that you're using it there? Of course, it's a pirate theme. But the waves, when you're using the boat, just get super annoying. And using it when there's just no waves is super long and tedious. Which is very annoying for someone like me that likes to get all the shine sprites and star pieces, or as many as I can, because I kind of horrible exploration, but that's not the point. The thing about it is, it's just long, and it's not fun to use something that's slow. All Nintendo had to do was just make the boat faster, and it'd definitely be higher on the list. But just because it's super slow, it can't be any higher than number 6. Number 5. The spring jump is in a very weird spot. Now, again, it is in one of the 4 abilities that were just super difficult to rank. But the reason why it's lower than the others is because if you mess up, then you have that really long animation of Mario just falling, which obviously gets really annoying if you keep messing up. And yeah, that's honestly the only reason. Again, maybe if you move across the pipes, maybe that could be a little bit faster. If you had faster falling, that'd be really good. But it's just there, honestly. That's really how I would describe it. It's not bad. It's not good. It's not really fun to use. But yeah, it's just there. Number 4. The airplane I was about to say airplane emoji. Turning into a paper airplane is something that is very useful in this game. But, I mean, it's not that useful. I think one thing that definitely boosts this higher than a lot of the abilities on this list is that I think this is the most fun ability to use. But there's something that puts the other abilities higher than this one. And that is that you don't have a 100% success rate by using this. If you're really bad at using the airplane ability, then you will not be able to cross the gap that you're using for it. Which is very annoying because that means you have to redo it, and since normally it's pretty high up, it gets very annoying just to get back up there, and again, if you're bad, you just fail again and again. And I'm bad at this game. That's why it's not any higher. Number 3. You flip. That's it. Okay, fine, there's more to it, but, I mean, there's not much. All you do is just flip. And you can get through stuff like jail cells. And, Mario has escaped from prison around 5 times now just because of this. So, yeah, we don't talk about that part, though. Ability-wise, it's simple. You have a 100% success rate, and you get it done almost immediately. So, I mean, there's no other benefit to it, which is why it's only number 3 instead of being in the top 2, but it is the best out of the 4. That was really hard to rank. Number 2. Number 2, well, you guys know what the last 2 are. It's between number 1 and the hammer spin. And the hammer spin is number 2, but it's definitely multi-purpose, because the main multi-purpose that it has is that you can use the swing of the hammer to actually fight enemies. Like, you can have a first strike on them with it. But wow, it's not easy to. First things first, it's not really great to control, because you have to hold it down, and then you have to spin the control stick, and then you release it. So, you have to time it almost perfectly. So that's really hard to hit enemies. But if you do, trust me, it's very beneficial. But the other thing is, well, number 1 has the ability of having it being easier to control, and it still does damage to enemies for first strike. So this is the worst version of it. Kinda sucks to say that, but yeah, it's pretty replaced. But, I mean, you can't get anywhere without this ability, so there's no replacing it, which is always a very nice thing. Number 1. Wow, the ability that comes from my least favorite place. Well, I mean, the ability, it's not great, but the main reason it's number 1 is that it's multi-purpose, but the multi-purpose feature is actually useful, unlike with the Super Hammer. It works, it does its job, it's really fast, it controls fine. Yeah, the main reason it's just number 1 is because it works. I can't really say that for a ton of the abilities on this list. It does its job really easily. That's the main reason it's number 1. And let's compare it to the number 1 of Partners in Time abilities. And no, there's no point in it. It doesn't even compare. Those abilities are so much better than in the 1,000-Year Door. And it will never compete with stuff like the Bros Ball or the Spin Drill. It might compete with stuff like the Hammer and the Baby Cakes, but no, everything else is just way better than the stuff in the 1,000-Year Door. Thank you guys for watching this. My next video will be about partners in time. Make sure to subscribe to the Shroobs Don't Die, and I'll see you guys in that next video.